and the fact that his dad is a legend here. How is Marvin Jr. prepared to handle that?
Well, Marvin has come in and worked, and that's one thing that I've really appreciated about him. He from the first day of the winter program to the end, you could see the growth and improvement, not only physically, but just his confidence in terms of, knowing what the expectation was and how our program operated. And, I thought he got better every week that we had our off season. And, I think he's excited for the opportunities ahead. This is the first time he's ever had a spring ball. His freshman year, obviously, he showed up in June, so he didn't get the spring there. And last spring he had an injury. So I think just for his development, this is a critical spring, and I think he's looking forward to it.
About the other newcomers, what excites you there?
Well, I think both Sione and Tomiwa are guys that I really was excited about in terms of the recruiting process, and they've really come in and done a great job. Great job acclimating within the room, but also a great job of working and trying to live up to what our standard is here as a program. So I think both those guys have a tremendous opportunity in front of them to be really impactful for us. So I'm excited about it.
And where does Byron fit?
Well, Byron's had a really, really good offseason, and in every way. He's had a really good offseason in the weight room. He's gained weight and been able to hold it, and he's doing a great job in the classroom. And I think all those things tie together in terms of his growth as a person and as a player. I thought he was a guy that was able to kind of get his opportunity to play a role last year, and I think he's poised to see that role increase. And the great thing about the defensive end group right now is it's going to be a competitive room, and guys are going to have to take advantage of the reps they get in spring, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Thank you, JP.
Thank you.
Jaden Jones, another young guy for you guys last year coming off a knee injury. How has he kind of progressed with given time?
Well, I think Jaden's probably been as impressive as anybody that in terms of growth in this off season. He quietly went about his work, but his knee brace came off. He was moving better. I thought he did a tremendous job, and he stayed focused. He stayed focused on being the best version of himself. So, this is going to be an important spring for him, and I think he's excited about it.
How do the 15 pounds benefit Pat?
I just think, for one, in the run game, you want have the opportunity to be a little bit more physical at the point of attack. That added weight creates a lot more of a physical presence. But then I think also durability. I think, last year was the first time that he played a true 14-game season, which is a physical grind, and having that weight and being able to maintain that is going to be crucial for him to be able to have another season like he had and continue to grow and get better.
Is your group maybe even deeper, more versatile than last year? Maybe not as good at the very top as it was a season ago, but 1 to 5 maybe better.
I think our depth is better. I think there's still a lot to be said about how everything's going to shake out in terms of depth, but in terms of who's playing with units. But I think the depth that we have is as good as we've ever had. I'm really excited about the group. I think there's going to be great competition in the room, and I think the collective of all the guys together, we're going to have an opportunity to be a really good defensive end unit.
Tomiwa, the guy you probably have to most figure out where he fits?
A little bit. I think he has the most versatility in terms of having the ability to play inside and outside. So I think that's something we're going to work through throughout the course of the spring. And the goal always is to find a way up front to get your best 4 guys on the field, and then same on the as you look at the defense as a whole. How do you get your best 11 out there? And whatever you got to do, in terms of rotation, structure, packaging, but we got a lot of work to do to find out who's going to fit where, but I think we have a lot of good pieces in place.
I haven't seen the updated numbers for him. They had him listed like 280, but he doesn't look like he got it with 280.
Yeah, he slimmed down a little bit through the course of through the winter program, the tour duty, but he's a big guy and carries weight well, and he's moving well. So he will have a little bit of probably versatility within where he plays and lines up based on down and distance and situation. But time will tell. That there's a lot to be learned about all the new guys that are coming in, and we'll start finding that out tomorrow.
He's a young guy.
Yeah, he's got 3 years ahead of him, so he's got a long career. Hopefully, that we'll have the opportunity to see him grow and develop.
When you guys were looking in the portal for solutions at defensive end, were you looking for different body types, different skill sets, versatility, or did just those guys made sense because they're good football players?
Well, yeah, I think we were just looking for the best available players, and each one of those guys that we were able to get out of the transfer portal kind of had a little bit different circumstances. Marvin went in a little early, and we were able to jump on that. And we knew we wanted to add at least one more defensive end before the end of the portal cycle. And having the opportunity to get both Tomi and Sione was awesome for us, just because our objective was to make sure we got at least one more guy, but to find two that we think are really good players, Sione being a little bit older, and then Tomi, who has a couple more years ahead of him, I thought was really good for us.
Sione just telling us his story is pretty remarkable. Can you sense that from him, just what his life as journey has gotten to this point?
Well, the thing about him is I think he has a different type of appreciation for every opportunity that he has. Every single day he shows up and works, and it's got to be, in my opinion, a reflection of the fact that he doesn't take a whole lot for granted, that he's happy to be in the situation that he's in, and he's going to make the most of every day. And he shows up with a smile on his face, a great attitude, and he's really a great person. I'm excited that he's part of our room. I think he's going to be an impactful person, not only as a player on the field, but just what he's going to be able to do within the room with the guys.
Is what you guys are going to ask of Marvin much different from what he was doing?
We're a little bit different schematically, so it's going to be a little bit different. He'll be a lot more hand in the dirt defensive end here, just because that's what we do a little bit less in coverage. He sometimes played a little bit more outside linebacker in his previous scheme, but so it'll be more fitting to what we do from a 4-down perspective. But a lot of the things are going to have carryover and have some similarities.
Coach Norvell has said, I think about a year ago, that depth is what wins championships on the defensive front. How did you obviously saw it play out last year, winning the ACC title, and then you went about going about reconfiguring that room with the new pieces too?
Sure. You could see how it showed up. Obviously, a year ago, we needed the depth pieces, and we were probably a little bit deeper inside last year, and maybe a little thinner on the edges. Now I think we have really good depth at defensive end. So I think there's a lot of different guys that can play different roles, and I'm excited to watch them compete and see how it all plays out.
We were talking about